Welcome back, guys, to the This and Much More podcast. I'm Evelyn, and my co-host is
Rollie Vogues.
And today we have two very special guests, and they are
Faith Cisneros
and Chris Cisneros.
Chris Cisneros.
Okay, welcome to the podcast, guys.
I know, I'm super excited to have y'all and just like pick y'all's brain. You know, we have another powerful couple over here, right?
Okay, yeah. That's how that I've heard.
Yeah.
No, but I see it, you know.
He's like, I don't know. So first, let's start off with like, how did y'all even meet?
Ooh.
It's a good story. It's a good one.
Yes.
We actually met at the Westheimer Arts Festival in 1999.
1999, yes.
Yeah.
I
So
was,
How old were y'all?
shit, who knows?
I was like,
I don't keep
I
track.
was 23.
I don't keep track anymore. So
I think it was like 22, 23.
Okay.
yeah.
Somewhere around there. But it's funny though because where we're at now, we actually met at a festival. So little did he know what he was getting himself into back
He
then.
didn't know.
Yeah.
It was a really cool place.
What kind of festival was it? Like just like
Yeah, they don't do that no more? Or?
No, nothing like it. It was the Westheimer Arts Festival. So basically, they shut down Westheimer, Lower Westheimer, from like Numbers all the way down to where like the tattoo shops are. Dunleavy.
Yeah, way down there, like where
Whole
past.
street was closed.
Yeah.
And everybody's just.
It's like a
walking.
big block party or what?
Yes.
Yes.
It used to be amazing. A lot
We
of
used
fun.
to call it West Fest. So they would do it twice a year. I think like once in January and once in May for the weekend. And then everybody would, man, we'd look forward to it going out there because we would set up like a lot of our friends are musicians and artists. So you could literally set up it in between any of the businesses or at the businesses, and then people would they'd play their music. There'd be DJs everywhere. You could take your
You'd
drinks.
see everybody there and just all walks of life. It was really cool just to go people watch and
Was it like a creative space just where creatives came to hang out and
yes,
Set it-
that's putting it lightly though.
Yeah.
There's so much more in that, man. There was everything.
It was
A to Z
so
there. It
cool.
was amazing.
Is there like pictures?
I'm sure they're out there on
Back then, we didn't have all this pictures.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure it wasn't like the
Yeah.
actual.
Yeah, I'm sure
there's
pictures.
some footage and maybe some video
Yeah,
out there.
because that'd be
but,
cool. Imagine just to like be able to
Yeah.
just
See
do
that.
like
We'll have
a.
to dig some of that stuff up.
It was wild. Yeah.
But everybody would just pop up their tables and, with all their art or their, things that they made. DJs would be out there.
Yeah,
Bands
people-
would be playing. I mean, it was...
Street performers, you'd see everything out
Everything
there.
was
man.
free.
The
People
Krishnas would always sit up
Yeah.
and play.
So how did y'all even meet then? Yeah, we're both there at that event.
Yes. So he rolled up. He rolled up on his bicycle, and I remember when I saw him, I was hanging out with my friends, and I was like, "Yo, who's that?"
It's funny.
And you had no idea.
I had no idea.
You were just like your innocent self showing up.
It's a strange story. I was on vacation and I came back that day to make it to the West Fest. I was actually in Europe doing some stuff, hanging out, checking it out, And I had plans. I was like, when I get back, we're just going to chill. And then we're going to go to Mexico, rent a house out on the beach for like a month or two. And she interrupted my plan. So
Yeah.
we met, and that's that.
And you
my
just
life
stayed in
changed.
Houston.
My
But
life
But
changed.
it was
Yeah.
cool because when he rolled up, I was like, "Damn, look at them shoes." He had the coolest shoes on. I'm a big shoe girl. He had the coolest shoes on that I think I've ever seen.
I got them in Amsterdam, and I wore them.
Yeah, and they're still
Back
at the
to
house in the
Houston,
closet.
Are they like a certain brand or it's just like
There's some.
cool
Like
pair
some
of shoes?
artsy shoes.
Yeah, just
I'll take a picture of them and
wow,
put it
Okay.
and show
shoes, a
you.
big,
They're like,
big platform type
yeah,
thing, and
they were cool.
yeah, it was wild.
Yeah, I was like, damn, he's got.
That
great
was your way
style.
to. That was your way to like.
He's got great style, and that's important. That was like that kind of tells you like what kind of person they are, and I've always thought that like the type of shoes people wear that kind of tells you a lot about a person.
Dang,
As far as
you're gonna judge me. I only have like 5 pair of shoes. She's looking at my shoes.
But they're cool shoes. Those
but they're
vibes are
cool
bad.
shoes.
I have like 2 pairs, and I'm wearing my cool ones today.
Yeah, like that's crazy. So then when you told him that, he was like, "Oh, I just got them in Europe or whatever."
No, I don't think I found out about where the shoes came from until later. But we were actually at at the event, I was telling my friend, "Hey, hook me up, introduce me," and he was like, I'm not helping you, girl." I was like, "Okay, well, I guess I'll have to go hook myself up." So that's when they were like in a circle. I guess they were all, hanging out, smoking and doing, whatever, and that's how we finally made contact there and changed numbers. And
yeah, she chased me down, and I gave her my number, and
So she called you after?
I don't know how soon it was, but it's how many years later?
I don't know. It's
24
like
years
20
later.
I was gonna say,
Later.
damn. So y'all been together for 24 years?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
when we met. Well, that's what I said. We've been together since we met in '99, and then till now. And through that, we had kids, got married, and all that stuff. So.
But it was cool because we both, when we met, it just worked. Like I could still do my thing, he did his thing, and it was, little did we know until after we started talking that all of our friends, we had all the same friends.
It was.
But
creepy.
we never met.
Like
but
we knew all the exact same people, hung out in the same circles, but never ran into each other.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's crazy is that like social media is where you realize that you have a lot of mutual friends with people.
Yeah.
Sure. So that's how I'm able to even now. Like yesterday, I connected with some guy, and then I follow him and he followed me back, and then I realized, oh shit, he hangs out with all these people that I know. And it's kind of like.
It's wild though, like y'all never met. You know what I mean? Like us, literally, we had the same friends, and I'm like
exact same.
Did y'all go to the same schools?
No.
Okay, it was just like the
But
group
both
of
of
friends.
y'all grew up here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. He went to Austin. I went to Dobie High School, so I was on the other side of the tracks. I was way.
Yeah, because me and him, we went to elementary, middle school, and high school together, and we didn't meet until high school.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Who chased who down?
She chased me down.
Was it the shoes?
Nah, it was a sandwich.
Oh, even better.
It was a breakfast sandwich.
Yeah, right. Nah, but yeah, it was kind of like my cousin did it. He's 2 years older than me, so my cousin and him shared the same grade level. Oh, yeah. And she's like, "Hey, my cousin said, what's up?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't, but sure." Like,
and you've been making her breakfast ever since, huh?
oh, because I told him you make the breakfast tacos.
Oh, that was just today. I was like, you want a breakfast taco? Because I want some,
Yeah, sure.
And she's like, yeah.
Yeah. No, but that's pretty cool. So y'all been together for 24 years, and then 24 years. When y'all met, y'all were both doing like y'all's own thing. What were you doing?
At the time, just floating around, because I was like 20 years old. So I hung out with a lot of musicians and a lot of artists. So a lot of my girlfriends were either married to the DJs or married to, band members or artists or whatever. So at the time we were kind of just, I want to say we were just following them around, having a good old time, setting up, organizing parties or,
Is that what you were working on, like just in the creative world? Or did you have like a full-time job?
Job-wise, I think it was about the time after I got out of school. So I think it was when I was working. My first job was at Chase Bank. So I was a teller during that time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that
Did you hate that job?
No, I thought it was cool. It was interesting. I thought it was cool because I worked downtown.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants to be downtown. 'Cause
Yeah.
after work, you can go and jump on the bus or go to the bars or go hang out or meet your friends. Or I was 20 years old.
Yeah.
About that nightlife.
Yeah.
About hanging out with my friends, and I loved that scene.
So when you met him, you were still at Chase.
Yes.
And where were you? Were in Europe and you had came back?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just on vacation because it was Y2K was coming. The end of the world was, everything was going to just go haywire. And at the time I was working in IT, so doing like computer jobs and stuff. And so leading up to 2000, we were so busy fixing all these companies' computers, getting ready for Y2K. Went on vacation, said, hey, the world's going to end. Let me just go to Europe and see what's about. And came back, and that's what I was doing, IT work and then DJing and other things.
So you know how to DJ too?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I've done my whole life. Yeah.
That was another perk though, because when I started dating him, I got into all the clubs for free, and I got to skip the lines. I was like, "This is working."
I know the DJ.
So it was a win-win for me. It was, yeah.
Did you DJ in a lot of like clubs here in Houston?
No, not really. It was
Or
just,
is it like parties?
Just, I mean, I DJ like all through high school, stuff like that. So it was mostly house parties and things like that. And then the rave scene started, so I started getting into that, DJing in some of those events, and here and there. I mean, nothing too major, just.
It was like the underground DJ scene.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, before everything got all.
It was such a
Crazy.
Yeah.
As it is now, you know, like everybody's DJs are everywhere and this and that. You know, it was a different time back then. All vinyl, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was,
I think we
cool.
we grew up from our 20s, you know, to the 30s. It was just a great time. Like things were so much simpler. None of this Instagram and social media. Whatever we did, you know, stayed wherever we did it, and nobody it didn't get out there, and it was just a simpler
You
time.
didn't have to worry about like the social life, right?
yeah.
Which
No.
now it's like, it's a thing. Like you have to have it up and going. If not, then
Everything's everywhere about everybody, and I mean, it's insane.
Yeah.
There's no privacy whatsoever.
Are y'all heavy on social media now? Like, do you guys?
Not personally, no.
No.
Like I think I have a. He doesn't. If whatever he has, I probably made for him just so I could tag him.
Yeah, I've never been into it. I mean, it's just just have
For the
business
businesses.
accounts because you just got to have it, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
personal, nah, I don't have time for that really.
Yeah, I think I have. I
Because
think
that's a full-time job in its own, so you know.
Yeah.
Well, people-
if you decide to. Make it
yeah,
a full
because
time
people
job.
now have a full-time job based off just social media. Like it's
Yeah,
crazy to
it
me.
is,
Like
it's wild.
I mean, props to them, right? They like to, you know, like. But you have yours, right?
I have a page, a personal page. After school, I went into photography, so I did a lot of photography.
Yeah, I was
so-
gonna ask because I found that I saw that page. Not that I was like snooping, right? But I had to like do my research and stuff. And I was like, I saw that you were taking pictures and that Lucia would
Yeah.
model, right?
Yeah, we did. Well, we did it for the store. She was my model because I was like, "Girl, put that on." But I took after high school. My idea was I always planned to move to New York and either I didn't know what it was I was going to do, but I knew it had to do with something with pictures and something with fashion. I just couldn't figure out how, what, or when. But when I got the job with Chase, I loved it because there was opportunity to transfer to New York through Chase, and I could just hop on a plane and go get a job out there. That was my plan before I met him, and then he, you know, kind of put a.
You
wrench
like
in
New
it.
York a lot, right?
I do. Yeah.
Why?
I just love the energy there. I just feel like they're so ahead of us. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just fast forward. You know, so I go probably like once or twice a year. I try to go, and I call it plugging in. So when I go out there, I go and I kind of just absorb the energy and see what's new and see what's kind of like what people are doing, because they do big things in small spaces, which is really cool to me to see how they utilize, you know, space and what they can come up with. So I get really fascinated with that.
Yeah.
And then also with what I do out there, it's like times a million, you know, because there's no shortage of people there.
Yeah.
So it's very inspiring. You know, I wish we had that here in Houston, that constant foot traffic. I mean, we're getting there. We're getting a lot of people movement. But out there, it's I just get super inspired. So then I come home and I'm like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Or we come home and drive through downtown like,
We're out the people.
like what is the problem here? Like you look, you know, it's like there's nobody on the street.
I
It's like nothing happening.
We've never been to New York. We've been wanting to go, but it's never like
Yeah. Do you guys know people out there?
y'all just pull up.
Y'all just
Nah.
go yourselves?
Yeah.
Yeah, just go. But
Yeah.
it's cool because there's everything's there from one block to the next. You can find
Yeah.
anything and everything and stuff you didn't even know existed. You know, just wow, you know.
Yeah.
So it opens your mind.
Do you feel
to-
like it's a hidden gem, like
What?
New York? Because I feel like people don't see New York like that.
They do see New York like that. I see New York like that.
It just
You've never been.
No, it's social media, you know, but
Yeah, I think it just depends on what the reason for why you go there. Like for us, once you get past all of the tourism stuff, because like we used to go for like 2 to 3 weeks at a time, and we would stay. And what I would like to do is I like to pretend like I live there, you know. So we would go catch shows, or we'd go chill in the park, or we wouldn't spend a lot on eating. I'd get a place that had a kitchen, and my kids and everybody, we'd, you know, make meals there, and we'd like absorb the city like we lived there, you know, and kind of, but once you get past the tourism part, it's really cool out there. Like, there's so much creativity and so much cool energy, and the people, I know there's like a misconception about the people, oh, they're rude. Well, yeah, don't stop in the middle of the damn sidewalk and you'll be fine,
staring at
you know?
buildings and you're good.
but it's normal, right? People do that.
Yeah, because there's so many
people have
tourists.
places to go. They're in a hurry.
But
you know,
there's so many like people that have been there for a long time, and if you ever get the chance just to sit and talk with some of these people, it's just the energy is so positive, and the stories they have to tell, and it's just so uplifting and so like inspiring. I love it. So I try to go there as much as I can.
Yeah. So why did you guys not decide to move together to New York if y'all both are like?
Well,
I don't know. It was never an option. I guess we never like spoke about it or anything like that. I guess that was, you know.
we didn't speak out loud about it, but it's
Both of y'all were like.
the plan before COVID. My plan was always to go there during the summers, because we were going for weeks at a time, and we'd spend 1 week, a full week, 2 weeks, and then I think the last trip, the long trip, we did 3 weeks. So my plan was to go there for the summers and be here in the winters, and then that way, and have eventually I wanted to get a place out there where we could travel back and forth.
Yeah.
And it's still out.
It might happen.
An idea.
Yeah.
I mean, then COVID hit, and then everything went to shit. So now it's just like, okay, where are we? Reset. Things have changed in Houston. We've done different things, and now, but yeah, it's still in my plan at some point.
Well, let's talk about Houston then, right?
Yeah.
So how did y'all even, once y'all got together, y'all both had like y'all's own actual like jobs. I guess what made y'all what was y'all's first business together?
I don't know. It's hard to say. We used to like we had a lot of friends that were in bands and things like that, and we'd go set up a different event. So back then I was collecting Puma, Adidas, like B-boy jackets and stuff. Now I take stuff out to sell. Faith was into jewelry, so she'd make a lot of jewelry. And anytime our friends would play, you know, it's like, hey, we'll go set up and go, you know, hang out and sell some stuff. But we really never thought of it as a business. It was just something.
It was just something y'all were
cool
doing.
we wanted to share, you know.
Yeah.
And I would say that's probably our first foray into that.
It was like not a business with a name, but y'all were just doing it already together, right?
We were just out there having fun with our friends, you know.
Yeah, but I think back then the clothes that we were selling, they weren't considered vintage yet. You know, because back then in the 80s and 90s, it was.
Well, just some of the stuff was, I would say it is. It's stuff you couldn't find, and that the scene that we're in, you know, they.
But I mean,
they agreed with it.
What was like was there even like a vintage scene? No, it was just like.
There's not. It's just stuff we liked, and it's like, hey, I got all this cool stuff. You know, I want to set it up and share it with the people and stuff.
Yeah.
But.
So were you the reseller out of all your friends?
There was no reselling or nothing. It's just
pop it. Yeah.
There was no pop up. There wasn't even the word pop up.
Yeah, the word's not even there.
It was just like, hey, we're like our friend's band's playing. Okay, hey, well, I'll bring some clothes out. She'll bring this, and hey, he
how
sells
can we make some money?
Incense. He's gonna come. We just hang out and have a good time. You know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's not really. Was like, oh, reselling, you know, money
Organized.
this and then that.
It wasn't like worded that or anything.
A market,
Yeah.
none of that.
That wasn't even an idea at the time.
Yeah,
or,
that's why
I don't even think it was a thing, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I always say. We've been doing this stuff for a very long time. This is not new at all. The politics of it is what is new, but we've been doing this stuff for a super long time.
Yeah, y'all didn't even know y'all were setting up a 10 by 10, right?
Yeah, I know, right?
That's the tent space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, sorry.
I was like, I know.
Because he's gonna do his first market.
What?
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna do
Well,
my first
yeah,
one.
like
When is that going down?
It's for the hip hop.
he's gonna pull
yeah,
up at
so-
hip hop.
Okay.
Yeah, Lucy and Jesse had been telling him, come on, and he was just like,
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been telling me, and I'm like, I don't know.
yeah,
you
but
got
he's
to.
gonna.
Turn
It'll be
around. It's
fun.
fair play, man. You got him on here. Now it's your turn to get out there.
I'm gonna see how it goes though.
Yeah.
But because I don't want to have a tent, you know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. I'm gonna try to make it different, but not go too crazy where they're like, all right, he's doing too much, you know.
Well, after the first one, you're gonna be hooked, and then you're gonna be just thinking, how can I make it better? What can I do?
Well, we did the first one pop up together.
Oh yeah.
For Mania,
Oh, okay.
but they did it at Post Houston.
Oh,
but it
gotcha.
was the podcast,
Yeah.
so we put up with like couches. We had like our
The whole
cameras.
setup.
We had our lights. Like everybody was walking by, like, what are they doing? You know? And we had
But it was
vendors.
cool, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we had like 5-minute segments with like different guests.
we had
like
them scheduled.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right,
hey,
we're
come
gonna
at
be
come
here.
at 2, come
That's
at 2:30.
cool.
you
Yeah,
know?
That is
so
cool.
That's
so people
really
were
cool.
like pulling up, and Terry, y'all know Terry, right? So he put us in the corner
Mm-hmm.
where the music wasn't gonna like, you know, because of the copyright and all
Yeah.
that
Oh,
stuff. So
yeah.
he gave us a big like,
Not even that. It was just like there was a column or something, and so there was a let's say 10 by 10, and then the space, and then another 10 by 10. So he's like, hey, this space is not being used. Y'all can have like all this
that.
space.
Yeah.
Man, that's cool.
And he's
So-
like, bring the couches. And we had to record an episode that Friday, so we couldn't even go drop off anything, you know. And then Saturday morning, we woke up super early, and him and his brother were like carrying the couches. And
Oh, that was
you
an
saw the black
hassle.
one that was in the living room?
Yeah.
That one. Like, it was 2 of
Wow.
those.
Yeah, this
So-
sucked.
The whole
But,
setup.
but it was cool. It was cool.
And then
I bet.
he does the rugs too,
Oh, okay.
like the
Tough
I think-
Tufted,
yeah.
tufted
Yeah.
rugs, yeah.
and he put some like green, like the greenery stuff, right? And then he just like went and laid some out, and then people bought some, and that's
Yeah.
how we made
Yeah, so
the
this
money.
this pop up that I'm gonna do
That's
is it's
cool.
kind of it's gonna be kind of like a little bit of everything, you know, just because I don't have anything. I don't know. I just have a lot going on, so I'm gonna just go and do like a one-stop shop. you
Yeah,
know?
that'd be
Yeah.
But
cool.
we'll see how it goes. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm excited for him. Milo's setting up to our son. He does the little Mexican candy bags and the little
Nice.
boxes, so he's gonna be sitting down.
Kids kill it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Our daughter set up one time selling slime years ago. She's like, I made all this money. Like, yeah, keep it up, you know.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it motivates them, you
Yes,
know,
it
like
does.
like Milo, he's like, oh, you're gonna work, and we're like, yeah. He's like, your podcast, and I'm like, yeah. So he knows this is like a workspace, you know.
Yeah.
But other than that, I was gonna say we have 2 minutes, right?
Yeah, we got
Because it
2
looks
minutes.
like it's 2
No,
seconds.
it's 2 minutes. We got 2 minutes.
So before we go on a quick break, after y'all did like y'all's little just showing up, you know, to sell, what made you want to like take it into like a legit business? Because y'all did open up a store, right?
Yeah, I think for the vintage part of it, that didn't come about until it was 2003 actually. I know this because my son was just born. Chris listed one thing on eBay when eBay first started. It was back in 2003, and it sold, and we were like, he was like, oh, okay. So then he started to list more things and more things.
Yeah.
And then
Random stuff. Or
No,
Oh,
just because
vintage.
I'd always been searching for a certain style of things and that I liked or stuff I didn't have growing up. I was like, man, I always wanted this. That's how I started with the track jacket and stuff. Man, I always wanted that B-boy jacket, man, and started finding them, collecting them. And then when I found out about eBay, I kind of like diving in there, digging in, and it's like,
Did you think it was like trustworthy, eBay?
yeah. I mean, at the time, it was brand new
No,
and
yeah.
like.
Well, that's why, because it was brand
Yeah,
new. Because
but
for me, Amazon at first when it started,
Yeah.
I couldn't,
Oh, yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
trust Amazon. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, eBay's been here, you know, but I can't, I don't even remember.
yeah, it took a lot for me to convince my mom to like type in her credit card information. She's
Oh yeah.
like, I'm not
That's
typing that.
scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is.
now it's just like tap 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 tap.
Yeah.
It's second nature. Yeah.
I'm like, what? You don't take tab? What's wrong with you? You made me put my credit card out.
That's funny.
So then you started with eBay posting things?
Yeah,
How-
yeah. I was just like collecting stuff, and then I somehow ended up on eBay, checking stuff out, and started selling stuff. But there was no vintage scene back then. I mean, there was no internet, no social media, none of that. So you just had to go with what you liked and go from there.
Yeah.
Finding stuff, and then started getting on eBay, and I had a room like this, stuff in it, and I would just be there posting and stuff would
in
sell.
our washroom.
Yeah.
I set him up. I was like, okay, this is your spot.
Yeah.
Put your computer there. You can put your little inventory there. And
you were still working a full-time job.
Yes. Yeah.
And you were still at Chase.
after that, no, that at that time I had left Chase, and then I think I had moved on to another job with the law firm. But I had just had my son, so I was at home on maternity leave.
Yeah. So I was working, then I'd come home and just get on my eBay thing and figure it out. And like I said, there was no scene. Everything I'd sell would go to Japan, LA, New York. Then you just started digging deeper. Okay, what are they buying? Going out, getting books, researching, trying to figure out, like, you know, there's something going on out there.
Yeah. So Chris would go into this room and wouldn't come out for like hours.
Yeah.
Because he was in there posting or listing, trying to figure it
That
out.
went on for years.
Yeah.
I mean, until here, just a few years when the scene here started, evolving and emerging. I thought I was just a crazy person. I was like, man, I'm in this room doing this stuff. I'm like, man, am I sane? Like, am I like just this crazy dude? But then it turns out there's a lot of people doing it,
And people didn't even realize yet, like that it was gonna become something.
Yeah.
What prompted us to get the store was because about 7, 8 years ago, because we've had it for about 8 years, the store, they started wanting to do meetups. We started getting a lot of local buys. So more locals were like, hey, can you meet up here? Can you meet up there? And then, then it turned into, hey, can we come to your house? And then I was like, no, you can't come to my house and see the collections, or whatever. So that's what prompted the stores. It's like, we need a space because I'm like, you can't have nobody coming to our house, and we need a showroom. And then the showroom turned into, well, people were wanting to come a lot, so we just kept it open like a store. That's how that.
So before we go into the store, let's go on a quick break, and then we'll be back, guys.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And we are back. So we were talking about the store, right? So it started because you were doing the eBay, and then people wanted to come to your house, and they were like, no, that's not safe. I feel like we kind of understand that a little bit just because we have the podcast. So
we have to be very like.
People are like, I want to be on. Yeah. So we always have to be like, well, no, like. Yeah. We have to be picky, kind of, because we're like, all right, well, if we're going to bring somebody, we kind of have to, like, have a little of a connection, and,
Yeah.
And
that's where social media helps, too, because you're kind of, like,
checking them
out, see what they're like. But.
Yeah, like, if you do me wrong, I know where to find you. But, so then, did y'all even name the store, or was it just, like, a showroom?
Well, I don't know if you want to...
Go ahead.
Well... Before the store, she had a blog.
Yeah.
It's called Labels and Latte. So she would talk about,
Oh, because you used to be a barista, right? Or you did the coffee stuff?
Yeah.
When did coffee come?
Like 15 years ago.
Yeah, we did. We had opened a coffee shop in 2007, and we ended up closing in 2009. But inside the coffee shop, we had kind of the same concept, what we're doing now, but we didn't even know it was a concept. Like there, we had the coffee shop, and then in one corner of the coffee shop, I had my little nook where we would put our vintage, and then we would have a little space where we would invite like DJs, or we'd do poetry nights, or we'd do, whatever, just to...
What was the coffee shop name?
Stir It Up. And it was in Midtown. I'm a big Bob Marley fan.
Before Midtown was there, though.
Before Midtown was Midtown.
Before there was anything there.
Yeah.
We were way ahead of the curve, and
Yeah. So I've always been about the experience. Like, I love music. I love for people to gather. I love for people to have a good time and just have that vibe where, that's what I love, So always been trying to create that and having places and spaces where people can come out and be themselves, artistic.
I guess my question is like, how how did you guys think, like, financially, like, how were you gonna pay for this if y'all opened it, or y'all just had, like, didn't even, like, cross your mind? The finance guy.
I always have these great ideas, but I can't put them in motion unless it's A to Z. Everything's figured out, this and this and that. Finance comes into that. But once she gets a whole wind of it, it's like there's no stopping it. It's just like, okay, let's do it. And I'm like worried about all the little stuff. She's just like, it's done, it's open, and you just figure it out from then on, So as far as the finance, no, I worried about it, but she didn't. She just made it happen, so.
Yeah, I feel like that's exactly me. Like, yeah, I always like back off. Like I'll bring an idea to her.
Yeah. And
then I'm like, you know what? Like, let's not do it. Like with the event that we just had.
Yeah.
Like that was supposed to happen, and then I came up with the idea, and I'm like, wait, we should do this for the 100th episode. And then me myself just overthinking it. I was like, you know what? Like, for what? Like, let's not do it. How are we even gonna pay for this shit or whatever? And then she's just like,
and that's when I had just quit my job. I literally had just quit the job like 2 weeks after he gave me the idea of the event.
Yeah, and then she's like, oh, let's do a banner, let's do all this. I'm like, I don't know where we're gonna get this money for a banner. Like, I'm not,
because we were only on one income now, his.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, I'm just gonna figure it out. I'm gonna just, I don't know, we're gonna do this deck, because Lucia had told me, like, oh, make a deck, you know. And I'm like, what is that? Like, I had no idea what a deck was, And then she's like, she's like, I'll show you and I'll make you one. So then she kind of showed me hers, and I'm like, let me just make it. Like, I want to do mine, And then I'm like, here, I'll give you the info and you make it look badass, he's a graphic designer. I'm like, just make it look badass. And then he did. And then I just like reached out to people, and they're like, thankfully we only had one no, but other than that, it was just like, well, shout out to them because Shop Local Market sponsored the beer. So
it's the least we could do.
But yeah, it was like that, because I am one to think too, like, fuck, like, how are we gonna pay for this? Like, it's just his money coming in to pay our bills, and then how are we gonna have an event and like let people come and just while I'm over here stressing how to pay our house, And I was like, man, I'm gonna figure it out. Like, we're gonna do it. And thankfully, we didn't have to pay for anything out of pocket, so I'm pretty proud of that.
Yeah.
Too.
So then you give your idea, and then she takes hold of it, and she starts like.
Yeah, I have to be careful what I say, because if I just make up hey, let's start a scooter rental business, and then tomorrow morning there'll be 50 scooters at our front door. I'm like, no, I'm just kidding, It's like. So I got to be very careful what I say. So.
Well, because I do think about things. So don't think I don't think about it. But if I can see it in my head, let's go.
It's just one of those. Isn't it one of those things where you just like the idea is there, so our mind is running so fast that you can kind of picture the A through Z.
I go through the whole process, and I think that's what I love the most is the creative process. Like, we own probably like 8 to 10 businesses. And I get so fascinated with, just the creative process, the starting process. And I'm like, from A to Z.
Okay.
Sorry. From the start to finish, because I love creating logos. I love, finding names. Like, I'll spend hours just coming up with names and trying to figure out, okay, is this going to work? Does it match it? So that part alone, I love that part of it too.
No, yeah. I can see that. Like, I feel like I can see how, not that you're the creative side and you're the logistics, but how it just blends in, Because I feel like I'm not going to say I'm not creative, because I know I am and I can be. But I know his creativeness kind of overpowers mine. But I know my logistics overpowers his. Yeah. But he has it too. Yeah. So it's just like a little balance that we both have,
Yeah, that's key also. Like I said, I can visualize it, but she can make it happen. So.
Yeah.
I always say that. Don't say something to me that you don't want to happen. And that's with anybody. That's with anybody.
Yeah, because I kind of, not that I saw that, but I could see how Faith is, where like, I can see how she pictures the idea and her whole plan plays out in her head, and she's like, all right, I know that this can work, Because I was telling them how for us, like, you're creative, but I'm also creative, but I know that your creativeness like overpowers mine, and then my logistics can also overpower yours. So it just is a good blend.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, yeah, that's cool. If you want to go with that.
That's how it works. That's how it
Oh,
is.
yeah. It
That's
does.
how things happen.
Mm-hmm.
So what about like, so then the store happened and it was called
Labels.
And
Labels.
the name came from, she had a like a kind of fashion coffee blog called Labels and Lattes, and so we were there like pounding our head on the wall like, what do we call it? Just call it Labels. It's already done. We'll just roll with that. So.
But to take that a step further though, the way my brain works is like, how is it going to roll off the tongue? How are people going to be saying it? How is it going to look on paper? What is the logo going to look like? What, when people search, what are they going to search for? How is it going to, these are the things that I'm thinking about. And when we figured out, okay, we're just going to call it Labels, I said, well, vintage streetwear, because that's what it is. And he was like, no, I don't think I like that. I said, yeah, but think about it. When people search vintage streetwear, guess who's going to come up? We do. Mm-hmm. So when you search vintage streetwear for Houston, Labels is like way up there at the top because that's in our name. So it just automatically comes up. So I was like, and he was like, years later, he's like, that was a good idea.
And y'all still have, where was this store at?
It was on Polk Street, 4009 Polk Street. And yeah, that was it.
Do y'all still have that store right now?
It's in limbo, but it's still there, yeah. But we got plans in the works for it. So.
For Labels.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the brand is still there. The store, the location, we're in transition right now. We're gonna. Nothing's been announced or anything, but we're in transition as far as the location's concerned.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because we have a co-host for Posted, and she was like, she had said, oh, because I guess she knew you, or she knew about you, Ronnie, and she's like, oh, Chris, right? He's the owner of Labels, and I'm like, is that? She's like, the Polk store, right? Isn't it closed? And I'm like, well, I don't know if it's closed, but yeah, that's them. Because I was telling them that I was working with Faith, and she's like, oh, that's her husband, Chris, and they have Labels. And I'm like, yeah. And then that's when I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, you know, because people do know, and she's from Katy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
So she's from like.
Well, I feel like she grew up here, no? And then she left.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
But.
Shout out Ronnie.
Yeah.
Well, Labels owns all our vintage projects. So Labels is the parent company
of like cargo, right?
Cargo, and anything we do vintage, ladies cargo, is under Labels.
So why did y'all come up with cargo?
Yeah, how does that work?
Well, that's when there was just a new development in the neighborhood, and we were at Labels, and the guy came over and he said, hey, I want you to come check out this thing. And for years, she's always been talking about, like, shipping containers. We need to do something with it and this and that.
Which, that's super dope.
Yeah.
The shipping containers, like.
So she went to take a tour, or I went to take a tour or something. And I didn't really think much of it, but it really sparked something in her. And she was like, this is it, She could see it. And I was just like, I don't know. I was like, we got this good thing going. We got this great thing going, And it's like, I don't know about this, but... I mean, you could probably.
Was that when
was
Jesse like with y'all?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think he had said that that you were like no, and that Lucia's like I don't know, and that he was like yeah, Faith, I see it, like that he was like that. I think he had said like he's like man, I saw the vision, Evelyn, and I'm like I believe you, Jesse.
Yeah.
Me and Jesse can get in some trouble with Chris. Because he's like.
Me and Lucia are probably real similar.
Yes, they're
like the oh my god.
Yeah, and me and Jesse are like, let's go, let's do it, come on. And I'm like, yeah, Jesse, do it.
It's kind of like with the podcast. Like Lucia wasn't gonna come on here,
yeah,
and Jesse's like, we have to do it. We have to go on,
Yeah.
And then she came. She had her dog the whole time.
Oh really?
Yeah, Lucia had her dog on her lap, and Jesse was just like, yeah, right.
Yeah, low-key, I was like, we've never had a dog in here, but. Okay,
but sure,
cool.
Yeah. It was cool though, like just to have them on, and I was just like family, like it's just, And now because of them, we met y'all. Like, you know, so it's a small.
Wow, yeah.
I know, right?
It's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah.
But cargo came from like the containers, like the
Yeah,
whole...
because basically it's a shipping container. So we're going back and forth about the name. We're like,
we stayed up super late.
Yeah.
I mean, we probably almost got divorced over names because we do that. Chris is like, I don't like it, and I'm like,
yeah, I was like, we
but
need
it's
something
perfect, and he's like,
something easy, something.
yeah,
you know,
he's
just
like, I
something
can't
different
see
from-
it. And I'm like, oh,
Excuse me.
dude, you're wrong. It's it. That's it. We nailed it. And
Yeah.
he's like, I don't know.
Well, because we were gonna incorporate labels. I said, what labels? I wanted like lab by labels, so we're gonna do something different, more. You know, we've always done like true vintage, so this one's gonna be like really curated, all like just
Yeah.
red lines and 50s and stuff like that. But Segundo Lab is the coffee shop there, so I'm like, okay,
So we
so
couldn't
we
use
can't use
lab.
lab by label, so we thought it's like, so shipping container, so cargo container, cargo, that's it.
I think that's dope. Now that I kind of have an idea, like the idea that it's
Yeah.
a shipping, and then there's cargo. I
a
think it's
cargo
cool
container, yeah.
because
Yeah.
now it's like cargo pants.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
That's like a big thing right
Yeah.
now.
I know.
Like, you know,
I need
so.
to work on. I need
Yeah.
my cargo pants. So.
Yeah.
You do honestly, like if
It's in
you,
the works.
Yeah,
Working on
that it's a thing. Like it's like super dope now, right?
Yeah.
Like to do something
Yeah.
like
Cargos are, yes.
It's the thing.
yeah.
Yeah, like I'm thinking about like I like that. I like finding names for things. Like
He
even
wants to name everything.
yeah,
Everything he wants to
I
put
try
a
to
name to.
name or brand everything that I do. Like even the pop up that I'm gonna do, like I want it to have a name, like the little setup.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm gonna incorporate all my other stuff in there. So I'm like the whole thing needs to have a name. You know,
Yeah.
but
I'm totally down with that.
That's a good
I would
way
say
to
go
look at
get the IG, go get the TikTok, and go get the domain name, and then
well, that's the thing. I'm not trying to do all that. You know?
Hey,
It's just
hey,
like for the day. You know.
I told you, better watch what you say. You're gonna make it happen. You're gonna own all the domains tomorrow. They're gonna be in your inbox.
Yeah, like because he was doing the fit videos,
Uh-huh.
and then he named them, and they're pontelos, like
Yeah.
put it on, you
Oh,
know,
okay.
but it's in Spanish. And then he ended up getting like a sponsorship through that, and I'm like, that's dope, like, you know. But he is a camera person.
Yeah.
Like, Roland can, before even we got married, he was like doing vlogs, and I'm just like, don't record me, like I don't want to be. I really don't like that, you know. Like I'm not like a social media girl.
Yeah.
Like I had told Faith, I'm like, I think I can come up with some ideas. I just can't be the person to
Yeah.
be behind, like doing
Yeah.
the stuff in
Well,
the
you're
camera.
doing it though. I mean,
Well, I just pretend the cameras aren't here, like.
Yeah.
well, just the more you do it, the more comfortable you're gonna get. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm terrified of this stuff, but you know,
I know he
you
did
just
the
do it.
little. He did the mic today. He
You
was
do
talking.
it. You do it and do it and do it, and you just, you know.
Yeah.
Get better
It's,
at it.
it's just you're chilling.
Yeah, him and
But-
Milo do good job at making me feel better. Cause sometimes we do fit videos as like a family, and I'm just like, oh my god, I don't even know what to wear or like how to act. And him and
But-
Milo are like, Milo's in the back. You're doing good, mommy. You're doing good.
But yeah, but I like that. I don't know. I just feel like I hear certain words or something, and I'm just like I like to like write them down or grab onto them, and that's where I like. I'll go and see like my little collection of words, and I'm like, oh, this could be a brand, or this could be like,
Yep.
you know.
Yeah.
So
I
like
hear
I
ya.
started doing these videos where I just speak on certain things for creatives, and I always had the word like brainstorm, like it was always like a thing for me, and it was gonna be a segment right on the
Here.
podcast, and but I just made it like a little series on Instagram where it's like, oh, brainstorming, and then whatever the subject is, you know.
yeah, that's.
But
cool.
it's just it's just cool little things like that. I like to, you know, name
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
So-
in a reference to the domain names, when you come up with ideas like that, I mean, if it's like, I think we own so many domain names. Like I buy all of them because like right now, everyone's making websites and whatever, and
And
when
you can sell.
yeah, I have like when I came up with Shop Local Market, I probably would. I mean, it was probably like a month. I kept writing names down, trying to figure out what it was. But back then, luckily for me, when I finally settled on Shop Local Market, it was available. Everything was available. So I own all of that stuff. And right now, like if I were to sell that, it keeps going up and up and up because it's such a broad term. But
Well,
it's so.
It's it's in trend too, you know. Like
Yeah.
Everybody's on
Yeah.
the local
It's
thing.
so
They want to
marketable.
support small
Yeah.
businesses and all that.
And then the word market is just like
Yeah, well, shop local. Everybody uses it for everything, and then
Yeah.
you tag market on that. But at that time, I was like, I'm gonna buy shop local market, shop local gallery, shop local this. I own so many shop local things. It's like ain't nobody getting close to what I'm doing.
Man, you know, I have a clothing brand. It's called AI Mas. And so basically I let it go. Like I closed it down just for like this
Just
year.
the store.
Just the store online. But I still have some inventory. And I told her, I'm going to drop something, you know. But I wanted to be creative. So then I'm shutting it down just for like a few months. So I closed it down. And then literally like last month, I'm like, I'm feeling motivated. I'm going to open my store and I'm going to drop something. Mm-hmm. But since I deactivated the domain, like it was let go, but I own it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then when I'm trying to open my store, it was like freaking people that were selling like washers and dryers with my domain. And I'm just
What?
like, oh, hell no. Like, and then I sent her like a thing like, I own this domain, you know? And then they just gave it to me the next day.
Oh, wow.
I know. I was just like, what the heck?
That's
you know, I was
crazy.
upset, but then I was like, I know I own it. Like I
Yeah.
paid
Yeah.
for it. So it should be fine. But still,
That's
like,
crazy.
yeah. It was on my Instagram. So it's like if people would go to my link, it would take them there.
To washers and
To
dryers.
To the washer and dryer. Yeah, and then I have on there like this clothes, you know, working on a business plan
Yeah.
because I'm gonna drop something, and then imagine people going and
I
it's
know,
like a
like,
washer and dryer. That's her business plan, like.
They're hitting you up. Hey, I need a washer.
But yeah, the domains. You should look into the domains and stuff.
That
like
is kind of crazy.
He
though.
has like 4 domains too already for like.
Yeah. I closed one down, but
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I don't know, shit. You know.
It's interesting though to see how that works though, because like the value of it's like that digital. What is it when they sell the digital art? What is that called?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
I'm not
we-
that advanced.
The expensive one, like that it was going for like a lot, or what do you mean?
Like when you can just sell like images. I forget what it's called, but just having that stuff out there, and people are just looking for it. You know, they're the names or
Oh, the SVGs like that you can buy on Etsy.
Yeah.
He sells those.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're just like digital products
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, he got shut down by Etsy twice.
Oh, really?
They love me now. But, yeah, that sucked back then.
Yeah, it was like more of like he would this like digital art and people would like download it and then
Is it because of the copyrights?
Yeah, the copyright
the
stuff.
copyrights.
So now I'm being more careful.
Nah, super.
Yeah, we
Because
got,
it's great passive income.
We got a letter one time.
For real?
Well, it was a vintage T-shirt though that I picked
Yeah.
up somewhere, and it said "Mama said knock you out," and it was like a bowling reference. You know, like just a funny T-shirt. It's a used shirt, and I think I had it. I don't know if I had it on our website or
It was on
something.
eBay.
And then
they-
LL Cool J's attorney sent a cease and desist letter.
With
I'm
this-
like, I didn't even make the shirt.
Yeah,
it's just
I'm
a
just
really
used shirt.
crazy.
Yeah.
Just a used shirt I'm selling.
Were you scared? Because I've always
No,
been
I'm
scared. Like,
I didn't make it. I was like, it's just a used shirt.
And I was like, if we leave it up, will he call me himself?
I know. How far is this gonna go?
we want to know.
Right?
I'm like, what's going to happen if I leave it up?
Yeah.
No, like with Rolling, he got 3 strikes, just 3 from Etsy. And then he got shut down completely.
no.
They didn't pay him out to like he was making like $200 a day.
Oh man.
Yeah,
that's
well, it
good.
got to that point.
It got
was,
to that
It was
point.
like
Okay.
2 days that I got $200 a day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the second day that I got $200, at the end of the day, I was like, man, I got paid $200.
I'm like,
not
we're
doing
good.
not doing anything.
Yeah.
It's just like digital downloads. I don't have to ship nothing.
Yeah.
It's nothing. I told her, you know what? I'm gonna quit my dad's job. Like we're good. You know,
Yeah.
like that's a lot of money. And then I get shut down. And then
Damn.
I got depressed, man. I was depressed
He
for like
got
a week.
depressed for that weekend.
Yeah, the weekend.
Yeah. And then he's like, what if we do it with you? I'm like, I'm down. Let's do it. Why not?
Hell
Like,
yeah.
it's the work's already
yeah,
there.
because then I tried to open another store using another email, and it tracked me down. Like
With
they
the
knew.
social.
Oh.
Yeah, like they knew because you have to type in your address, you have to type in
Yeah.
all this stuff, and then
Probably even the computer
yeah,
you're on, maybe your IP address.
yeah,
Yeah.
like right away. So then I typed in like my mom's address, and then same thing, you know.
Oh god.
And then I don't know how it worked with her because we were living here.
Yeah.
You know.
And basically, I was just we had a little folder of don't post on Etsy because we knew that those were the ones that were getting copyright.
Yeah.
They gave me like 30 strikes. And they didn't shut me down until like the 30 something, right? I was just like, after the third one, I'm like, I'm going to get shut down. But it's fine because we made, that money is what we used to go to El Salvador.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, we're good. We're good. I'm going to get shut down. It's okay. Whatever. 30 strikes later and I get shut down. I'm like, well, I mean, but now he's being super careful with it. I don't know how he even was able to open it because it's good money. Like, it's just passive income.
Yeah, I'm not going to question it. I'm just like...
Yeah.
Yeah. So...
That's the thing though with what we do, running these small businesses, you've got to be able to shift and pivot and have other ways of making income. So when A's not working, you got B, C, and D, picking up the slack.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what, like with the small businesses I work with, and I'm like, you can't just put all your eggs in one basket. You got to figure things out. You got to spread that out. And
yeah, because how does it work for y'all now? So y'all have like, okay, cargo and then ladies cargo and then shop local, right? And then y'all do markets. Excuse me. That's like y'all's main four.
So we've got Market Space, which is a brick and mortar at Ironworks, cargo, and then we have the markets themselves, and then we have the new store. So I think we have 5 to 6 main things that we're constantly managing on a daily basis. And I don't know. We know like from morning to nighttime that what are the things we have to hit every day in order to make sure all the stores are running smoothly.
Yeah, because I was going to say like, like I see now that like I'm working with y'all, like I see how much like y'all have, because I literally sit down with you and then we're just like working on just one of your businesses, and I'm just like, damn, like it's a lot.
It looks all like, from the outside, it looks like one thing, but, we work our ass off, put it lightly, we work every day, 7 days a week, morning to night, and it's a lot of work that goes into it,
Yeah.
But I wouldn't really call it a job, man. I like what I do, and it's cool to see the process, how things are growing. And, it's just, like they say, the cliche, it's a journey and all this, but it is, like, I don't know, it's just where we started and where we're going and things we're branching out into. I never thought that we'd be doing that. Like, if you told me 10 years ago, hey, y'all gonna do art markets, and I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, there's no way. But it's like, it's just things happen, doors open, and your life is it's funny like that. Just opportunities come, and you go that direction, and you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. And then it's crazy because y'all are doing it together. Because I was just telling, because I went to go eat with Lucia, and I was like, she's like, oh, how is it? And I'm like, I really like it, And then I'm like, another thing that I really like is that like I always see y'all together, like, which is crazy because you don't always see that.
Yeah.
Especially when couples are working, like.
Yeah.
Y'all aren't but whenever I'm there, like, and I pull up, y'all are both there. I feel like maybe I haven't seen you like twice. Like, so.
Yeah, for the most part, we're always together, always doing things, and running the business together. Every once in a while, we have to separate, and my day's miserable, but.
You're like, I miss you.
Yeah, one of my.
Where are you now?
One of my employees is like, he just can't function without you. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry.
Before we went on a quick break, we went to go get some tacos for him. And the door was locked. And I got scared because she got really scared. She's like, what's going on? And I'm just like, I don't know, because we couldn't see y'all. But one of the employees had forgotten to unlock the door. But we thought like they were kidnapping them or something.
We are in the north side. What's happening there?
She's like, she got her phone, call husband. And I'm just like, oh shit, something's going on. Like, I hope they're okay.
Well, that's always a fear though, working in retail, is that, that's always something that, you kind of hope never happens.
Yeah.
But somebody walking in and be like, lock the doors.
Oh yeah.
And give me all your shit,
that's
so
super scary.
So it's something that
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have nothing like really.
No,
really
but still, they don't know that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that being said, we're gonna go on a quick break, guys. We'll be back.
Yes, sir.
And we are back.
All right. So one question that I have for y'all is like, because you had already brought shop local, right? You brought it up, and but I wanted to know like what does y'all's like day to day look like? Because I know she's a small part of it now, you know, but it's like a very small part.
And thank you for letting her come.
Yes.
She's helping me tremendously.
She's keeping Faith occupied so I can handle everything else that's going on in the building. And
Honestly, though, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I really enjoy. Like, he's like, "How is it?" And I'm like, "Let me just tell you, the vibe is there. Like, the energy there. Like, is definitely like I enjoy going. It's not one of those like." I mean, from here to get there is like 25 minutes, depending on traffic, right? But I don't even dread the drive because I'm just like, I know I'm going to show up. The music is playing. It's just a good energy, you know? And he's like, man, I'm so happy for you, you know? Because I left like such a toxic environment for a job and then just transitioning into something where I'm just like, I look forward to it. And it's just there, you know? Cool. Like, so...
But it's crazy. I mean, my life is crazy.
What time do you think she wakes up?
I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and say like 4.
If I go to bed,
she never sleeps.
I don't sleep. If I go to bed before 10 or 11, I'm usually up probably about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. But if I stay up till my 12, 1 o'clock, then I'm up about 5:30. And in the morning is when I tackle, like I'll pick up my phone and I'll either, I'll hit the emails and I'll see who I can knock out on the emails. If I've got a lot of applications for the markets, I'll kind of conquer some of those. If some of my regulars, I'll get those out of the way. And then I do my ordering too. Like if I have some things that I know I need to order for the day or for the week or just for restock, I'll tackle those in the morning. And then before he wakes up, but then I'll look over and he's got his phone on. So we both got lights on at 5 in the morning and we're both, I'm like, what are you working on? So literally before we get even started, like even before we get out of bed, we're already tackling our first meeting. It's like, okay, what do we have today? Where are we going? Where are you going?
Yeah, it was always like, okay, what's the agenda today? What meetings do you have? Where do we have to be? What do we got on your plate? You know,
who's working? That's a question of the day. Who's working?
Who's where? Make sure everybody's, you know, where they're supposed to be, and then...
So, like, how many employees do y'all have?
I think we got about 18 employees now.
And they're hiring, guys. They're hiring.
Yeah, we are.
I mean, there was one point where like, I would never imagine we'd have employees. It's kind of, you know, it's your baby. You don't want.
Yeah. So, was it easy to delegate some responsibilities?
No, not at all. It just
so everybody sees what we do, but there's so much more to what we do. This part with hiring, this is another monster. Like, this is something that you can't just do it because there's so many rules and laws and stuff that goes into hiring employees and, you know, making sure that payroll gets processed and all that stuff gets done. And that's not just, I'll figure it out. My advice to anybody who starts to get on that next level of having more than a couple of employees is get an accountant.
Even before that, I mean, even just any small business in general. I mean, like all these resellers and stuff, you know, I see them like killing it, and it's like, dude, you know, you got to pay your sales tax and all this stuff, and
we just paid those today.
Like, you know, the Cash App and all that's cool, but when they come, they're going to come for you, you know, and it's like you need to have that in place.
Well, you know, they're changing that this year.
No, I don't.
Like the whole Cash App and Zelle and like to where now you have to put that in your taxes if you make more than a certain amount.
Oh, that's been though over 600. You gotta report everything.
But it's just do it right the first time. You know, it might be a couple $100 here and there, but man, it'll save your ass in the long run.
Getting an accountant.
You know, because I've always thought an accountant is like $1,000 or some shit like that.
You can find good ones that are really affordable. And
I know we've always been like not scared, but more like.
But I'm not saying like a bookkeeper. I'm not saying somebody that does your taxes.
Oh, okay.
That's not an accountant. You need somebody who handles your finances and balances your books monthly. And sends you your reports to let you know where your money is going and what it's looking like. Because in order to elevate and to get those to the next level as far as growth, either you're getting brick and mortars, you need more inventory, you need bigger space,
or
you need
just
equipment.
buying a car or a house or stuff like that. I mean, it's stuff we kind of overlooked, but once we're in that process and learning about it, and with the accountants and all that stuff, I mean, they set you up the right way so you can get stuff accomplished.
Yeah.
You know, like easy money in your pocket's cool, but if you're not showing that income and all of that being generated, you can't.
If
you
your
can't
stuff is not in order on paper, you can forget about it.
You can't grow. I mean, there's no way about it.
The banks won't even look at you. They're like, give me your balance sheets. Give me your, what are they called? Your
P&L.
P&Ls, your profit and losses.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what? What's that?
What is that? I just made 10 grand and it popped up.
I'm like, actually, yeah.
It's in my.
It's in my bank.
It's in my drawer somewhere.
It's in my Choni drawer. They're like, no, you can't use cash if it's not reported.
You just got to do stuff the right way, and it helps out in the long run, and it just makes a more solid foundation, and it lets you, level up, hit those next goals and all that. I mean, it's just
and for y'all that are like y'all are the type to like want to do it all. Was it hard for y'all to get an accountant?
Yes.
Yeah, because they were all in my business. I was like, shit, I'm in trouble. You can ask Lucia. We were when I first hired our accountant, me and Lucia were in New York, and my phone was ringing off the hook, and she's like, who keeps calling you? I was like, it's the accountant. He keeps wanting this and this and that and that. And I'm like, I felt like I was always in trouble, and it got to where, no, you're not in trouble. My accountant eventually, sat me down and was like, look, we work for you.
We're on your team.
We are on your side. We are trying to keep you out of trouble with the IRS and with the comptroller, whatever. And it stressed me out so much because I was like, they're looking at everything. They want to see everything I'm spending, and I didn't do this, and I didn't do
you're
that.
a very private person,
yes,
right?
And I'm just like, I was like, I'm not answering the phone. You answer it.
And now we're like,
yes, and we're still like that. I'm like, answer it. See what they want.
It's gotten easier though,
Yeah, because I know
the more you pick it up and talk to them, you realize that
I have little heart attacks.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
But it's the best thing that I think, because Chris was like, we're not doing no more businesses until you get an accountant, until we get this, because you cannot do it. Yeah. One business is hard. 4 businesses, it's unheard of. Yeah. 8 businesses, forget about it. We'll be in jail if we don't get our if we don't get them taxes paid, so it's like, but
it takes out your plate. It sets your mind at ease, and everything's it's like you don't have to think about on the 15th I gotta pay the sales tax for this month.
Yeah, they do everything for you.
They handle it all.
They handle all the payroll. They send out all the W-2s. They do everything. So at the end of the month, I'm just like, okay, what did we make? Where do we look? Where are we? And what is that going to mean for the next year? Like, how much growth are we going to be able to have based on our performance for this year?
And how long did it take for y'all to pay yourselves?
Yeah, I was gonna ask that.
We just barely.
We just started this year, and the only reason we started was because I want to buy a house, and they were like, "But you have no income.
Nobody's gonna give you a loan.
You're like, but I have 8 businesses."
Yeah, they were like, "Your businesses are good, but you have no income." I'm like, "What do you mean?" And I'm like, "But can't we use?" So I think in February is when we started paying ourselves. There, I was like, okay, the house, because I even found a house, and then when we got approved. We got approved for through because the credit's good, everything's good. Mm-hmm. But when it came time to submit your
like your info and stuff,
my finances,
well, you don't make any money.
Personal finances.
Oh, okay.
They were like, you have no income. I'm like, they're like, you're not paying yourselves. I'm like, no. Why do I need to pay myself? The business is taking everything's through the business, whatever. So I had even found a house. I'm still crushed. I'm like, I hopefully this house comes available again, because I was literally super crushed about not being able to get this house. But that opened our eyes. Okay, we got to start paying ourselves. So in February, I think, is when I started. I put me and Chris on the payroll.
After I don't know how many years.
After 20 years, we've never paid ourselves. But when things started getting super legit, which is probably the last 8 years, when we started getting everything legal, the names legal, and all that, and so now we do pay ourselves, and talk to the accountant, because he's like, you come to me. When you need something, you let me know what it is you need. I tell you how to get it. You know, so because we want the house, they're like, how much is the house? This is how much you have
need
to
pay
make
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, and then when you get what you need, things flip back. You don't have to pay yourself as much, and then you get to take more, like, what do you call it? Deductions and stuff like that. But having
because you're gonna have to pay all the taxes for all that income.
The big income that you're making,
just any income,
I know. Having that one house is kind of sad, because when we were getting this house, this house had 10 offers.
Oh my gosh.
And I was crushed already, because I wanted another house, and I had cried for that house right there.
Yeah.
It was sad, because I really.
Well, you cried because my dad said it was in a good house, right?
Yeah, because his dad's played. I mean, we've been together 13 years, so we got together when I was 15, right? Mm-hmm. And so we grew up together, kind of, you know, and like his parents have played a big role in my life. So I see his dad like a dad, right? Yeah. So when his dad was like, no, because what is it, like, contractors, right? Like
appraisal, they do,
or
y'all.
Oh, my dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he does contractor work.
He does contractor work, right? So he was like, no, they just painted this, and
like they're hiding defects with this or whatever.
They just like painted over it. Yeah. I was so crushed, and I started crying, and I'm just like, why did I have to, like, because every time we would get a house, like, that I wanted a house, like, I wanted to show his parents, you know, like his parents. And then I was like, look, I really like this house. And then his parents were like so involved, you know. Yeah. And they don't have any daughters. It's only boys. So I came in their life, and I became like their daughter, right? And then he's like, no, something's wrong with this house. And I'm just like, so when he told me about that one house, I started crying. I was just like, I'm tired. I'm tired of looking, like, you know. Yeah. And then this house came, and then we even laid down, like, just on the carpet, me and your mom, in like our room, and we're like, man, this could be the house. And then they're like, oh, it has 10 offers. And I'm like, well, we're not getting this house. Like, I was, you know, so I know how that feels, like, to want that house, you know. Yeah. So
but at least I know now that things were put in super perspective for me, because it's like, okay, now you need to do this. I was like, okay, here we go. So
because the reason I had asked like how long it took y'all to get to pay like yourselves is because when we had Moy, and y'all know Moy, right? He told us it took him years to pay himself out through Break Free. He said like everything would just go back. Right,
to the business.
And then when he told me that, I was just like, wait, what? Right, like we were just like, I was wowed, like, okay, well, how do you even make your money, you know, because everything's just going back to your business.
Because this is a question that I've always had. Like, even earlier this week, I was telling her, I was like, all right, let's say like we open up a studio like for the podcast, because right now we're doing it from the house. But I'm like, okay, let's say
no, that's not me. Oh, that kind of scared me. I was like, what?
That's not me, is it?
She's like, that's not me.
She's working on her phone.
Sorry. She has another assistant on her phone.
She's working away.
But what were you saying?
Yeah, I was like, all right, like, let's say we open up a studio for the podcast. We barely make any money off of this. Like, it's like maybe like $2 a day. I don't know, like through YouTube, you know. But I'm like, all right, if you take all that out, or sponsorships and stuff, like, how am I gonna pay for a studio through a podcast? And then like, if I do make enough money to pay for the studio, like, where's the rest of the money coming from, where I can pay our bills or in our house? And I'm just like, how do people do it? Like, you know what I mean?
And
like,
I had told him, I was just like, because Lucia and Jesse had told us that we should go to Ironworks, right, to set up our studio there. But I was like, no, like, it's not a smart move for us, because we're not making the money from here yet. We will. At some point,
it's coming.
You know? Yeah, for sure. If we were able to have an event and didn't have to pay anything out of pocket and still profit, I told him, I was like, we're good. You know, I was like, we were able to do that. We can do more. You know, we can do like ads, you know, through our thing. YouTube monetized us already. We're doing TikTok, Instagram. Like, there's just no way. But the money's not like fully there, but it's coming.
Yeah, but even then, like, it's like, okay, so my like my solution was like, okay, well, we have brands, and I'm like, let's say we get the studio space, but out of the same space we sell clothes
Our stuff,
or
our
merch
brands.
or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, that's the money, but then it goes back to whatever money you make, you put back in.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so
He's like over here stressing.
what do I get? Like 5%? Do
scenario.
I have 5% and put it in? You know what I mean? Like,
you'll get lunch out of it. You go buy you something to eat.
Is this gonna
Yeah,
pay our
you know,
water bill?
Put you some gas in your car.
You'll be amazed though. Like once you start like with the business, like when I worked downtown, I feel like I spent a lot of money to work downtown with the clothes, with the lunches, with the, just keeping up working downtown, parking and whatever. But when we started working for ourselves, I feel like it shifted a little bit. Like I wasn't spending as much money on things that were not business related. So everything is a business expense.
Yeah.
Everything, like every single thing, your cell phones, everything goes back to the business. And then I guess all these years we kind of just would move money to ourselves to cover the bills. But for us, we work 24/7.
no.
So all we needed was a little bit to cover the mortgage and the light bill, and then I guess my kids, if they needed food or keep the refrigerator full. But it seems like our expenses went down, because everything was a business expense.
Did y'all go into y'all's businesses like debt free, or did y'all have some?
Nah, for the most part, yeah.
I think
we just kind of do the most with the least amount, So
Okay, yeah, because
If
I
that
feel
makes
like
sense.
because I feel like for us, I feel like that's the thing. I feel like I tell him, I'm like, man, if we knock that out, we're good.
That's where I fucked up. Like that, I started my brand in a lot of debt. Like I just went and bought a bunch of inventory. I didn't know about like pre-orders and none of that.
Yeah.
So I just bought a lot of
Yeah,
inventory.
because he started his brand in like 2050. Well, it was our brand, and you know how y'all were like staying up late, coming up with names.
Yeah.
We did that.
Yeah.
It was so funny because we did that over the phone, and we're like, man, what should we call it? Like, what it's a brand, and
I have the list of my notes still from
like
2015.
super old.
But that's how you learn too.
That's
you
the
know what I
best
mean?
part, though. I
Yeah.
love that. That's my favorite part of the whole creative process of starting businesses is like all the names it could have been.
Yeah.
You didn't make it.
All the names that didn't make the cut.
Yeah, no, it's like, but we talk about it and I'm just like, it's going to happen. Cause you know how I think the first week I started working with y'all, I think you're like, oh, I brought bread to make sandwiches. Right. And I told him, I went home and I was like, man, babe, like, I feel like if we had our studio, that'd be us. Like we would be putting up with our bread and our stuff to make sandwiches. Cause you don't even care or even think. Like, you're just like, this is like your day. Like, this is your life, you know?
Sometimes it's easier to make a sandwich than try to decide where to go eat. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he wanted tacos today. So me and Faith risked our lives crossing Airline Street or whatever. And it was like, we went to the bakery and the tacos weren't even there. They were like on the other side.
That's a dangerous intersection.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm good. I hate
Even though I got corn tortillas.
I know.
I ordered
Yeah,
them
because she's
wrong.
like, do they have like papas or whatever? So I was ordering in Spanish.
I don't
and then,
speak Spanish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she doesn't speak Spanish. And then I was like, oh, well, what kind of tortilla? And then she's like, oh, corn. So I was like, it kind of threw me off a little, but I was like, okay, I guess they want corn. And then we get there, he's like, we never eat corn tortillas.
But you have that taste here already, and you're like, are these corn? She's like, well, I don't think so.
I'm like, just eat it. It's food. Come on.
It was good though. It was good. I think
corn tortillas. I like corn tortillas.
I think they
though.
were handmade. They were good.
Yeah, they look good.
Yeah,
they
they were
look
real
like
fluffy,
the plastic.
What is
They're
it?
super thick.
That's good.
Yeah,
those
they were
What
like-
is the other one? Like, so my mom made the masa tortillas. Like, it was like a thicker. It was like gorditas.
It's corn tortilla. That's corn.
No, pero the maíz is corn.
Yeah, masa is maíz.
Okay, because they have the harina, which is what I gave you today. You know.
Yeah.
Then we have the corn tortillas, which
That's
is like the regular
the thin-
taquitos, like
yes,
tacos.
And the masa
But then
ones
there's
are
the ones that are like the thicker.
I think
Yeah,
those
those
are
are-
more homemade, though.
Yeah, those are homemade.
Yeah, they just
Masa.
look thicker. Because when he brings us, I was like, that's not corn. Because he's like, no, it is. I'm like, it's so thick.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
super thick.
But I was asking
Okay.
Faith, y'all haven't tried tinga, right? Like it's shredded chicken with like chipotle sauce.
I don't know. It
Man,
sounds
And you-
familiar.
you-
I was like, I
Fuck.
think
So I told Roland, I'm like, I'm gonna make them tinga this week so y'all can try them. The only thing is, it's a little spicy. I don't like spicy
Okay.
food.
It's super spicy.
It's
It's not super spicy.
It's spicy. Okay. Yeah, maybe.
Out of a 10.
5.
11.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, we'll
it's
see
good.
tomorrow. You'll see he doesn't really like such.
Not real
like-
spicy
I
stuff.
love
no.
spicy.
Okay, no,
She does.
it's not like salsa
Yeah.
spicy.
Yeah.
No,
But
it's not. It's like
she likes hot stuff.
it's.
I
I
do.
honestly the spicy of the tinga is the chipotle.
Okay.
Yeah, but then
But-
like you put a little cream on it,
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
that's what like kind of
Kinda
like
cuts
gives
it.
it
It's
like
you put it on a tostada and then you put shredded chicken. Some people put like cut lettuce. We really don't. We
Yeah, I just
like,
eat it like with the
with
No
the
veggies.
cream and that's it. Yeah, no veggies.
No veggies in this house. I'm just kidding. Just
I
kidding.
know. I used to have friends that order like, "And let me get a hamburger with no lettuce, no nothing, just the cheese and the meat." I'm like, what? I'm like,
No, I'm gonna make some for y'all so y'all can try it out. It's really good.
that sounds yummy.
It's good.
He will love it.
You like Chipotle?
Even if he doesn't, he's gonna. I'm not gonna say I don't like it. You know.
I love it.
You can tell me.
No,
'cause-
because I can't remember the last time we cooked. We eat out all the time. We're never
Yeah, we
home.
don't have time for that.
Yeah, we never
I used to
eat
cook
at
all
home.
the time, but
Chris
yeah.
used to cook. I don't cook. I mean, I'm a side girl, so I'll like make veggies or whatever.
Me too. I'm the side girl.
Side chicks.
The side
We're the side chicks.
For our anniversary, we just turned 13 years on Tuesday. And we were just so tired from like the whole weekend, you know? So we didn't go out to dinner. And I'm like, you make the steaks, I'll
Yeah.
make the sides.
There
And
you
that's
go.
literally, and then we were like, wow, we celebrated 13 years just here at the house. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm
Same
good
as
with
always.
that.
Yeah.
Same as
Yeah.
always.
With
just-
Milo, like we can't be.
we wanted to go out without him, kind of. But then we're just like,
no,
nah.
you told him. He was sitting on the couch. We're all sitting on the couch, and then she's like, "Hey, we're on whatever day, me and Papi are gonna go like eat by ourselves." And he like his eyes got so watery, and he's like, "And what about me?" And then I'm like, "All right." So we're like,
So
"Nah,
we just
him
had
too."
dinner, yeah. So I made the sides, he made the steaks.
Aw.
He makes good steaks, so
That's good.
yeah.
Don't start saying that. It's like regular. Because then people ask me to make a steak, and I'm
Yeah.
like, it's nothing special. Like,
Yeah.
Where,
you
where
know?
are these awesome steaks at?
Yeah, like she made margaritas one time, right?
Yeah.
And then she made margaritas at my family's like party one time, and suddenly like they're the best margaritas they've ever had. So it's like, ever since then they're like, "Hey Evelyn, make margaritas," and she's like, "I just pour the mix," and they're like, "I don't do nothing."
I don't even know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just putting some tequila and whatever I buy. Like
It works.
Yeah. But going back to the business, so do y'all have so now you have the second store, right? Is shop local Greater Heights and then shop local at Ironworks. How is it that you can run both locations? Like
It's a work in progress. We're still trying to figure it out. Like the new location's only been there a couple of weeks. We're just ironing all this stuff out, and the main thing that we've seen is market space is just a smaller scale. It's a lot easier to manage that, and now we're talking about 10 times bigger,
Yeah.
10 times the inventory, 10 times the headaches and everything. So it's a learning process. We're still ironing it out and trying to find a smooth way to handle both of those. So
Yeah.
yeah.
For me, I think it's about, here's where I'm going into another part of business that I haven't been before, is creating a team. You have to have a good team, and you have to have people doing things and be responsible for certain things, in every aspect of the business. So that's where I am at right now, is delegating, who's running the stores, who's doing this, giving everybody responsibility, so that way we're not all like, who's doing what, so we know so-and-so's doing this, Allie's got cargo,
Yeah, I guess like their roles are
or being more defined.
becoming obvious, and what
Yeah.
they shine in, and kind of put them in that spot, that direction.
So literally, I'm breaking myself into all these pieces and trying to hire people to handle all those pieces is where I'm at, because I did me and Chris do everything. Like, he's more the vintage part of it, so he doesn't really handle shop local. It's besides the logistics and setting things up, but trying to get help.
But yeah, just until recently, I mean, it was all us, handling everything.
Which
vintage.
props to y'all, because when I start, now that I'm helping Faith, I'm just like, holy shit, like you were doing this by yourself, and she's like, yes, I've been doing this, and I'm like, it's a lot, like
it is a lot.
But
I mean, on our side, it's just what we do for
regular,
day to day.
It's not doesn't even feel like a job anymore.
No,
it's just like a part of your life.
We do, and we just got to figure out.
Yeah, like on
process.
the car rides, I book. Sometimes I'm if I'm standing in line at the grocery store or wherever, if I'm standing, whatever, I'm booking. In between things.
She's always on her phone,
I'm
doing
always
something.
on my phone.
I'll be driving like, hey, look, there's a wreck or something going on. She's
I'm like, cool.
well, what happened?
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes when I know that y'all are going somewhere, I don't even want to text her because I don't even know if she's driving or not.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know she's probably gonna like check or whatever, but I can see how it's become a part of y'all's lives.
Yeah, I mean, like, even every time I'm going anywhere, like even today, like, or yesterday when I got out of the car, I'm on the phone with somebody 24/7.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like, somebody's calling me constantly about something, and it's that's just my life.
Yeah.
Any spare second she's in there involved trying to get something done. So.
But with that being said, let's go on our last quick break and we'll be back.
Sir.
I was like, what made you hire me? She's like, nah, I think you have I think you said tough or thick skin or whatever. I was like, honestly, I really got that like working at a funeral home, because it's just like you have to like control your emotions and growing up, my relationship with my mom was like super rough. So I was just like, there's nobody that's gonna come to me and tell me shit that that I can't handle. So whenever I did the ladies hip hop and some girl was like pushing, I was like, look, you got a good spot, I'm like, do you want to talk? She's like, can I get moved somewhere else? I'm like, there's nowhere else. I was like, but if you want to talk to Faith, you can. Oh no, I'm good. Okay, that's it. That was the end of that conversation, and then I'm just like, I just went to go sit down with Faith, and we were just talking on the bench like nothing had happened. It's just, I mean, working events is just, you just can't let anybody, and not even if you're not working events, it's just nobody's superior to anybody at the end of the day. So it's just like,
well, we're just all there trying with the same goal, trying to have a good time, trying to get your brand out there, this and that. There's no room for drama, there's no need for it,
exactly.
Like everybody's in the exact same position, just hey, we'll figure it out. It's not a big deal.
I mean, the goal is for everyone to make money.
Chill,
And trust me, I've already thought about everything.
There's
nobody that feels it more than I do if the event doesn't go well. Like, I'm the most hardest on myself, like, when the event doesn't go well. So when the vendors give pushback, it's like, okay, well, trust me, I will only put you in places that I think that vendor, that it will be a good spot.
Yeah, we've gone through all the scenarios and know what's going to happen. Whatever issue you're bringing up, it's already been thought of a way.
Yeah, I've seen it before.
Yes, yes. It's nothing new. We've done thousands of these events, and it's like,
Is there like an event that y'all will never forget?
Yes. It would be Carbach.
Love Street?
Yeah, Love Street Festival. It was the bands were just going off. It was really cool because Carbach, they had a setup. So one end of the venue, they had a stage. Or the other end of the venue, they had a stage.
Wherever, by the restaurant, kind of?
Yes.
Okay.
So 2 stages this year. And then had some great bands. They sold out. So there was like literally 3,000 or 4,000 people there.
Okay.
So one end, they'd do their concert, go off. Everybody come. We had the market in the middle. So they'd come through and do their thing, go to that stage. That show would be over. They'd come back through. And
it was like a back and forth?
Yes, it was amazing. Okay. Man, it was so good. Everybody was just...
Everybody was happy.
The vibe
everybody was spending.
Good. I mean, everybody was killing it. And we were just so excited. And then
And
out of nowhere.
We stopped and we all looked up and we were like, why is it so gray?
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, it was like a damn tsunami came through.
The sky just fell.
Yeah.
I mean, it rained so bad. And
we were all
you gotta,
like hunkered down.
Yeah, so there's a whole sea of tents. There's 4,000 people there trying to find cover. So literally, we were in our tent. We like lowered it. There's like 50 people in there. And I'm like, if y'all gonna be in there, you better hold on, because I don't want this tent gonna.
The rain was going sideways.
It
Oh
was,
my God.
It was flooding.
It started flooding, so
yeah.
like literally the water was up to your knees, and everybody was there at the tent. Everybody's stuff was getting wet. I had
to wash everything.
I had
and
a full
re-tack
setup
everything.
of clothes. I mean, I was really loaded
Tents
down
were breaking.
that day.
It was nuts.
Everything got wet.
Carbach was coming around handing out free beers because they were like didn't know what else
They
to
come
do.
in
That's the best way to go about it, though.
They're like, we're sorry.
But
Dang.
yeah, that's one thing we always joke about.
That's the event that-
Every time we're there, like, remember the great flood of.
Well, my first time at Carbach, I saw somebody throw up. So,
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
we heard it. So, I'm kind of like traumatized. But I'm excited, though, because y'all have one coming up, right? By the time this airs,
yeah.
that event is already
it'll already be passed.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but Carbach has been so Carbach. So when I started Shop Local Market, it happened because of a need that I had seen with local artists and local like people doing what we were doing. So when Shop Local came to be, I was like, I have an idea. How am I going to do this? I want to support.
Well, I mean, even beyond that, it all started because we didn't have a home. Like vintage clothing, we didn't have a place to sell. We tried to apply with other places. They're like, "What's that? We're not into that. That's not our thing."
Yeah,
Yeah.
We tried to go. We wanted because when we had the shop and then we were hosting a couple of vendors outside of the shop. People were coming. That's what it was. Vintage Street Fest. That's what we started, and a lot of people came. And me and Chris were like, "Well, we want to take this show on the road. People really like the vintage stuff, you know." So we started applying under labels to go to other shows. There was only a few in Houston at the time, and they were like, "No, we're not into that vintage stuff. Like, no, I don't think that's for us, and that's not gonna work or whatever." So I was like, "Well, shit, what do we do? Like, what? That's not cool, you know. Like, people will like this, you know."
Mm-hmm.
So that's how Shop Local was born. Was that I was like, "Well, I'll just make my own market. Like, I'll just start my own thing." And then I was like, okay, now what? Where am I going to go? So being the person that I am, outgoing, and I have connections with different, venues and artists and whatever. I'm like, how hard can it be? So I started reaching out to different venues and different people for sponsorships and stuff. And
But how did you even think that was a thing?
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't. I was just like, what goes hand in hand? Like people love to drink. I love music. I love the experience.
yeah.
So I was like, okay, how can I even get this going? Because I think when we did the little vintage pop-ups outside the shop, there was like 4 or 5 vendors. We would go buy beer, and we would use that we would put it on Facebook or I don't know what we were using at the time, but we would say, hey, free beer if you come to our shop.
Oh, okay.
So we would go across the street to Kroger's, and I would buy whatever the cheapest beer was, which was Lone Star?
Probably at the time.
Yeah, I would buy Lone Star, fill my cooler, and just post free beer with purchase. So come to our shop and we'll, and shop our little vendors, and you can drink for free. So I just started. After we got all those no's from trying to apply at the other ones, then I was like, okay, well, I'm going to start my own thing. So I just started emailing people. And this is before even breweries were a thing. I just was trying to get a beer sponsorship. Like, who can I get to sponsor to bring beer to me? Everybody said no, but I got a yes. And that yes was Carbach Brewery. And that's before they even were Carbach, They were like, I love your idea. We love it.
So you've been with Carbach for years now.
Yeah, for years. So they were like, and back in the day when we first started, Carbach would bring the beer and set up a tent, and they would have somebody there working, handing out the beer for free. So, yeah, that's how I started with them. And then I think after a year or 2 years, Carbach started building where they're at now. They started building their beer garden, and they came to me and they were like, "Hey, Faith, what do you think about coming and doing a market here at the beer garden? Because we should be done with the build out soon." And I was like, "Let's go!" Like, yes, And we started doing them like monthly, I think, and then I started doing all the special events, and then I've been with them very, very long time. So Carbach is a huge supporter of the arts, and
shout out to
local. Yeah.
They were at our event too.
Yeah,
they're really good.
That's one of the first ones that helped us kick off what we were doing.
Yeah, they saw the
like,
vision and the potential and the crowd that we're bringing and all of that, and they were totally on board. So
yeah,
it's been a
but
lot of years
through
how many?
A lot.
So like 8 years, I think, that we've been with them.
Wow.
But through our journey, though, we've made relationships with, like, we work with St. Arnold's, which is a big supporter of what we do. We do a lot of events with them. Who else do we work with? Topo Chico and
Northside Management District.
So we've built a lot of relationships.
I have a confession. So at the event that we did for UHD, and I went, you're like, "Oh, do you want a drink or whatever?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So then I went, and they didn't have regular water. So they were like, "Oh, we have Topo Chico." That was my first time trying a Topo Chico.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah,
I liked it. Yeah. I was like, man, I've never had. Yeah.
It's
I had never had it.
Acquired taste, but
yeah,
it's good. Yeah,
but I
it's
was
good
like,
stuff.
"Oh, wow, it's actually
it's a Coke
really good."
without the sugar, basically.
You've never had it?
It's the
I
bubbly.
had never had it. Yeah, no. Like, we don't drink like that, We've had...
I mean, I've had it, but like with lemon and salt and stuff like that.
Like when I...
Like later.
No, like I've never had one until like the event that like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I was just like, "Oh, all right, they don't have regular water, let me just try it. It's technically water, right?" So then it was pretty good. I liked it. Yeah. And then you're like, "Yeah, we're looking for the beer openers," and I'm like, "Man, we had 2 Topo Chico ones at our house," and she's like, "We have a lot too, but nobody has some right now."
Everybody walks off with them, so yeah.
Yeah,
I know. They're like, I have to chain them up because they just walk away.
That's crazy. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know. Every time we go pick up, I'm like, "Y'all have any swag? Like, can I get some free bottle openers?"
So then y'all worked with Topo Chico. What's another like big one that y'all were like, "Wow, we never thought we were gonna work with them"?
I don't know. Well, U of H was one.
U of H.
For me, I was like, because it's a educational institute, and it's like, we're a little different vibe, but yeah, it was good. It's a good.
Just recently, Chase Bank.
Yeah. Oh, and
So
Chase.
that's one of our
I
big
did
ones.
see that. You did get your your little
My little
trophy
award.
or
I know. I'm
award.
Lord.
I'm gonna carry it with me so you can be like,
Yeah.
"I need 20 grand, please. Here's my award."
Yeah, I saw that. How was that for you?
It was cool. Like, it's nice to be recognized for the things that I'm doing. I definitely don't set out to get any of that because I could care less, like, about, accolades and stuff. I'm more in it for just moving forward, forward movement with all of the small businesses. But it's cool, it's cool to be recognized.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, damn,
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, it's really not. It's not our scene at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had to go buy a polo shirt at Target.
I know. I was I was like, I think I had told. I don't know who I told. I think it was one of the girls at the shop. It might have been Lulu. I'm not sure. And I was like, I did not know Chris was bald. Oh my God. I didn't know. And then I saw the picture and I'm just like, oh shit, like he's bald. Like
I always wear a hat.
Yeah, because you always, I had never seen you with that one.
I hate cutting my hair, so it's just easier to wear a hat. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Robbie cuts his own hair too.
I know.
It's a chore though, you know what I mean? It's like after
I hate it.
I used to do it every week, and then now it's like, man, just.
Well, I do it every Thursday, so I hope I stay with that.
Sometimes Thursdays.
Like on Friday morning.
Yeah.
It's a lot. That's a lot to do.
Yeah, because I met Amanda from Chase.
Deets, yes.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
Shout out to her because I met her at the conference that I had told you that they invited me
Uh-huh.
to. So then she's like, yeah, here's my personal number. And I'm like, oh, yeah. She's like, call me, blah, 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 right? But when she was up there and they were asking her, they're like, what's one thing you would tell, like, small business? And she's like, get an accountant. And then y'all said that
Oh, yeah.
earlier, so I was gonna kind of like touch on it, and I'm like, damn, that's crazy because it's people don't even realize, because we probably didn't even realize like that's how important it is, you know.
Yeah. When I started, well, with Chase, I met them through some of the workshops that we were doing, but my thing with them is I saw they were sponsoring events, and I reached out to them and I said, hey, I don't necessarily have a need for like you know, sponsorship through like DJs and stuff like that, but I do have a need for sponsorship through workshops and education. I said, because that's the one thing that I've noticed with working with all these small businesses is that there's a lack of education when it comes to finances.
Mm-hmm.
And to navigate now in the times that we're in, you've got to know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to know how to navigate through the ups and downs, because every month is not going to be a productive month, or you're gonna have downtime where you're not making as much money, and you have to be prepared for that.
Yeah.
So business, finance, education is needed from the start. You know, you got to get your credit in order, you got to get your head wrapped around your expenses, your inventory, and then you got to prepare for the downtime. So working with Chase, that's my goal, is to hopefully be able to offer more resources as far as getting people on the right track for those financial goals. Because I told everybody too, I'm like, y'all want to keep doing these pop-ups, y'all are going to need a car. And that's the hardest thing to get right now, is a commercial vehicle. Because for one, cars are so hard to find right now after COVID. And then two, if you don't have your finances in some kind of order, it's going to be really difficult.
Yeah.
So.
That's crazy. So what's another like thing that you can think of, or what?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say like whenever y'all, cause like the big thing is like the markets, right? Like whenever you guys do those, like, is there like a checklist that y'all have, like, okay, we need all this in place before we
Start one, or what do you mean?
Yeah, kind of like you're like, okay, I need the beverages, boom, I need the drinks, I need so many vendors, I need whatever, like, or do you guys like wing it, or, you know?
No, I think everything is pretty much. I mean, I do have a checklist, mostly in my head.
Yeah, she does. I was gonna say she does have one, but it's in her head.
It's hard working with people, because it's like I've been doing this on my own for so long. It's all in my head. I know what we need. But yes, I mean, there's a method to my madness as far as like events are concerned. I know what works for me and for my my customer base and my clientele, and the vision that I have for the events that I create. You know, like I said, music's very important to me, because I think without music, there's basically nothing, you know.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it creates the vibe. And I try to hit on all, usually music, alcohol is a big part of what I do. So that's why I do team up with the breweries and with the venues that serve alcohol, is because I think it all goes hand in hand. Here, I'm telling all my secrets. But it's true, though. I mean, you got to think about that. And I feel like some of the events out there, too, might be lacking the thoughtfulness of putting on events that are going to be able to provide all the things necessary to have a successful event. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, like, I think about the kids. You know, kids are always welcome. So my thought process is we need to have something for the kids to do. You know, because if the kids are not bothering the parents could be drinking and spending. But if the kids are not busy, guess what? They want to go home. They're going to be nagging, and no one's going to stay. So there's a method to my madness. And I try to think about all those things. But now with some great help, we will get those checklists on paper. But
yeah, that is true. Yeah, because I was thinking like, all right, so for our event, like the last thing I thought about was well, we had thought about a DJ already, right? But we didn't even think to like get anybody, or we had somebody in mind, but it's
because
like
we were scared of the budget.
yeah.
Finance.
But yeah, budget played a part in it
Yeah.
for sure. But I was like, all right, like we don't need a DJ. Like I'll just use my phone type shit, you know. And then we didn't get somebody to do like a recap video or take
that was my
any
biggest
any
regret.
sort of pictures or any. So none of that exists, you know.
Yeah.
But
Just the
so it's like
memory.
if you were there, you were there. That's
Yeah,
it, you know.
It's so
but
sad.
yeah, stuff like that. That I'm like, damn, I should have thought more about that, like before we even.
Yeah,
You know?
but I like I told Lucia, I'm like she's like, oh, how was it? And I'm like, I loved it. It was a good turnout, you know. But I have one regret, and that's not hiring somebody to go and like record and take pictures, because now there's nothing.
I'm
you
sure
know?
there's.
Yeah, I'm
No,
sure
yeah,
there's. I mean, it's social media,
But,
you know.
but it's not enough for me to like.
Make
Put
a
something
recap.
together.
Yeah,
put something-
and that's the only thing. And she's like, man, you're always gonna like think about that. And I'm like, yeah, I do. But I mean, it happened to our wedding, so I guess it can't be that bad. Like for our wedding, the photographer sucked.
Oh yeah.
Like her pictures were shit, and we have a good video. But for our event, we don't have like a good video, you know. So it's okay though. It's our first one.
But your whatever you posted, it was good. Because I went
The
back
pictures?
to look, and I got to see through all the video or all the pictures that
Yeah.
y'all posted.
Yeah.
I got a good idea because I couldn't be there, but
Yeah.
I got a good idea of what was there for the night and what you guys had going on. Because y'all had the backdrop, y'all had a bar, y'all had vendors outside. I saw food.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I'm honestly like I am glad that like I was able to work with you and Lucia like as kind of like a guidance of like, okay, this is what I kind of want, you know, for mine, you know, since it's my first one and I didn't know what to like expect. But I am gonna say, like, I did say kids were welcome, and I didn't really have anything for kids except for mine, because he had his little store going on, you know.
Yeah.
But other than that, I really
they
didn't.
were all running all.
Yeah,
all over the
I was just
place.
like, stop fucking running, like. But I mean, it was cool though. It was a good event overall. But I think to like, you know, to your question, yeah, I think Faith does have her checklist that, you know, she checks in her brain, and I just try to like tap in sometimes, like, okay, well,
Well,
what,
every event's a learning experience, so you're gonna
yeah,
see what works and you know what you can improve on, and just carry that on
yeah.
as you go forward.
Do you like doing the events?
Yeah.
You're like, I like showing
For the
up.
most part, I do. I like them, but when I really have to get hands-on with things, you know, sometimes it can be a challenge. But
Yeah.
you know, we just work through it, you know.
Yeah.
If I add anything, that's
Yeah,
when he's like,
I'm just like,
ugh.
they're like,
Yeah.
well, can you provide a movie setup with the PA cinemas? He's like, oh yeah, sure, no problem.
I'm always like,
Okay,
I
so
have that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to work the whole event. Thank you, Faith. You know?
Yeah, because they were trying to do the movie, so I was just like, you have that? She's like, yeah. And I was like, that's dope. Yeah.
Like, oh yeah,
that's
yeah, we'll
super
just
cool.
set it up. Yeah, it's no problem. I'm like, oh,
All right,
thank
we
you,
did.
babe.
I
Thanks.
need you to set it up.
Yeah.
But it's not just that. I gotta get it there, set it up, get ready. Then the
Be
time
there.
comes, the time arrives. I gotta, and there's always
so
kids
easy,
jumping on the
though. It's
screen.
not
Always
hard.
kids messing with everything.
Yeah, because I had asked her, y'all have just the Frankenstein one,
Oh,
the
yeah,
blow
yeah.
up, and I was like, there's a little handprint,
Yeah.
and I was like, was that like a part of it? They have like a big Frankenstein blow up, but there's a handprint on there. And she's like, oh no, I think the kids were like,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, there was that car block one year, and we had the
Pumpkin painting.
pumpkin painting for the kids, so they were doing that, and then the
This
kids
little
were
kid
going
went
in.
in. I was like,
But it adds the character to it.
It adds character.
That's what she said. That's what
it
she
looks
said.
like he like walked on somebody, and they were like, no.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, I saw that and I was just like, damn, that's cool, because y'all have the other one, like the Beetlejuice one.
Yeah, that's a
and
new one.
Yeah.
But that
I have
the
a
Frankenstein's
problem.
been through a lot.
You have a problem?
yeah. Every year I try to acquire a new piece.
Okay,
A
yeah,
big
yeah.
piece. This year we got Jack.
The Jack,
You've seen
yeah.
the Jack.
Yeah, the Jack is pretty
That
big.
thing is pretty freaking dope.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna stay all through the holidays. To be honest with you.
Well, I mean, Jack is kind of like Halloween and Christmas
And
at the
Christmas,
same
yeah,
time.
yeah.
You just have to add the Christmas hat,
Yes.
and he's like a part
Yeah.
of
He may
Christmas.
stay all year round. I was gonna change out his outfit.
Every month we change him up, put something on.
Yes.
You know, he has a sewing machine. He can make him a
There you
T-shirt.
go.
You know,
Yeah.
so
I'm trying to think. with January, February. We
Well,
put some hearts.
Valentine's-
Oh, like
Some
the hearts.
hearts, yeah.
And
Or
then
the hard
St.
eyes.
Patrick's.
Yeah, put them in green.
And it's some Cinco de Mayo.
Put a serapia or something.
Seriously.
Yeah, so he's good for the year.
It's good. He's never leaving.
He's never leaving. That thing
What-
is amazing.
What's something that you guys are looking forward to, or how are you guys planning to end the year? Like, what's something big? Or
Busy.
Yeah, it's busy coming into holiday season. It's gonna be nuts. I mean, we're just gonna be going 24/7.
I do plan to have a big holiday party for our staff this year. That's what every year I try to do it, and I think time just gets away
So
from
you
us.
come on at a great time.
I hope I'm invited.
Great year to join.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah, we try. I plan to do that this year. But
I can definitely help you with that. I've done so many at the funeral home. I used to be the market director's assistant, and we used to do so many kickoffs, so many like to encourage the people, keep them happy, you know. So many raffles, like a bunch of stuff, like
yes, well, you're hired.
Yeah.
The job is yours.
But-
somewhere in December.
yeah. I know, because I told Roland, I was just like, man, she just has like booking after booking and like weekend after weekend. It's just like, and then I remember you told me, man, it's about to get busier because the holidays are coming, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's
Well, I mean, I do different things. Like with Shop Local, Shop Local does events, but also I'm a curator. So I curate for different venues.
Yeah.
You know, so there's different things happening simultaneously. So, yeah, it's crazy. I've worked really hard to create the vendor list and my network of people. So a lot of the venues know if I post something, people are going to jump on. So that's why they come to me a lot, because they know that I can get them booked up quick.
yeah.
Because the vendors are just waiting for me to post the next event or what's happening or whatever. So, but it's good though, because if I can keep them busy, we have good stuff going on, then
Yeah.
everyone's making money. So
It's a
works.
good I can see it. I can see why people wanna like pull up, you know, because it's a good it's a good event, you know. I'm excited for tomorrow. It's gonna be
Oh.
our first one. I told her y'all need to go to Chicago for a Taste of Chicago. Have you heard of it?
No, I heard you talking about it. Though.
Yeah, y'all definitely need to check
Really?
it out.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like super fun. Like
Yeah.
I've been and it was worth it.
Well,
So
one year when we were in New York, we stumbled upon the event called Smorgasbord, and that thing was amazing, man. All these food vendors, you could get anything there, just amazing stuff. They had like from, you know,
But see, that's another thing that we didn't know we liked to do, was to do food.
I should just y'all should be
Videos.
like foodies. And
foodies.
stuff.
I know.
But that's fun, because that's away from everything
I
else.
kinda wanna do that.
Yeah.
You know?
You
And he's
should.
so good at it.
Use the Instagram she made for you.
Yeah. Well, and I bought a whole microphone set.
I know the whole mic. You saw the video,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm like, that's so out of the element for what we do, you know, on a daily basis, and it's fun.
Until it becomes a business.
yeah, yeah, right.
You know,
Just
yeah.
because of job, right?
I mean, hey, if I'd be good with free food, like
Nah.
seriously, just come and eat for free.
Yeah.
That's payment enough.
I'm always the taste tester or the guy.
Yes, 'cause I hate
She's
to be in
always for me.
videos.
I'm like, it's amazing, it's good.
I'm like, no, take it again. Do it again.
Do that same reaction
So
again.
it's tomorrow, right? The
Tacolandia,
Oh
yeah.
my god.
Yeah, because I
you
told
going?
her.
Is he
Yeah,
going?
he's gonna
Yeah.
go. Yeah,
Okay.
he's gonna go with Milo. And I had told I told him I didn't even think that they were gonna have like birria tacos there.
Yeah,
So I'm pretty
yeah.
excited because I love. Because you said y'all were tired of them, right? Because
Yeah,
y'all would
yeah.
eat them a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, they would go to the one we go to on
Right here?
AMC. Yeah,
Well, that's cool.
yeah.
But yeah, like I mentioned in the video that TJ, was it called? Yeah. It's probably one of the first times I tried it. Man, it was so good.
He-
I tried
And
them
he's
at the
gonna be
Spoil
there.
Latina
He's gonna
Summit.
be there, so.
Yeah.
So he did a shout out to them on that video, and they messaged and said, "We'll have a surprise for you
Oh
tomorrow."
my god.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
So
Well, when you go to that tent, take us.
We're all gonna go.
Yeah, we're
Hey, you're
go
gonna
to
be
that
the one making the tacos.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a process.
I
we got a job for you.
Here's the apron.
Oh, that's cool.
we'll see.
Hint, hint.
Let's see.
But
Yeah.
with that being said, what's like a one last thing you would tell like somebody that wants to start something aside from getting an accounting?
Yeah. Well, I would just say whatever you're passionate about. I mean, if there's something you really like to do, start with that and then just expand on that. I mean, I see a lot of people thinking like, oh, I see you doing vintage, you must make a lot of money, this and that. I'm like, not really, but I just love to do it. And if you just stay at it and keep with it, the money will come at some point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just don't go into anything looking at dollar signs.
Yeah.
Something you're really passionate about, and you gotta love it.
Yeah.
And then from there, you just grow. So.
Yeah, I say stay humble and stay focused. I think with everybody doing so many things right now, people get sidetracked watching others, and they don't stay focused on what they're doing. It's like I don't do Instagram a lot. Like I don't troll because I have a vision, and I don't want to get like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So staying focused and just letting the process go, just stick with it.
Yeah. That's definitely relatable because for our podcast, I feel like we never came in on, thinking we're going to live off of this.
Yeah.
And now we just had an event.
Yeah.
And it went great, right? Yeah. And now we're like, okay, well, we can keep growing from here.
Yeah.
But we do it like Fridays with our guests. And now we've expanded to other co-hosts and, stuff like that. So I can definitely like understand what y'all are saying.
Yeah. Well, it's something you enjoy doing.
Yeah, and we enjoy doing it.
Yeah. You're good at it.
Thank you.
You make it really easy,
Yeah.
Really,
and I think you have your own vibe.
Yeah,
because there's been times where people say, I want to do what you do. And I'm like, I can't teach you that.
Yeah.
You've got to bring your own vibe to the table because that's why people will follow you is for you.
Yeah.
So I think you got that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Even before I met you, I kind of peeked in. I saw y'all doing your things, and I didn't know like you did like Lucy and Jesse and stuff. So when I saw you with Lucy, I was like, oh yeah, that's the
I know.
podcast.
I told him. I was like,
I saw your stuff. It's good. I caught myself watching the David Tippin episode, and I was like, man, that was you. I was like starstruck for a minute.
I was like, yeah, it's me. Here, do you want to just restart it really quick so we can end it?
I got you.
Yeah. But no, I feel like with this podcast, I feel we pride in building connections, and then just keeping them going from there. Yeah. And like with Jesse and Lucia, they just happen to be one of those people that everybody that you see on there, we still have a great connection with. Yeah. But there's those special guests that we keep that connection growing and growing and growing, Yeah. And so whenever you told me that, I was like, yeah, that's me, like, and then Desiree had came up to me too. She's like, you're from Entre Nos and this and much more, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's me, like, and it's just cool to see people working.
I think one day we were working and everybody came in and they were all like geeking out over here. And I'm like, hello, I'm trying to work here.
Oh yeah, because Deborah, she's like, you're from the podcast, right? And I'm like, yeah.
Everybody was getting distracted.
I know.
We had a celebrity in our midst. Everybody had to stop.
I was like, yeah, that's me. I'm camera shy. Yeah. I was like, I'm trying to work, girls. Like, no, but it's cool though to see that people do recognize what we have going on. So
it has a special feeling. Definitely.
Yeah. So just keep it up though, because it's gonna only get bigger and better.
Yeah,
can't wait.
For sure.
We have big plans for it, so it's like
hopefully, God willing, everything's gonna work out. So. But with that being said, we really appreciate y'all coming on. Yeah. I know y'all aren't big on like, this stuff, but we're happy y'all came as like our guest, and all the information, guys, will be in the description below. So make sure y'all go follow them, check them out. By the time this drops, they probably have some events coming up in November, and every weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, some Thursdays. So make sure y'all follow them, keep up with them, and other than that, thank y'all for joining us.
We really appreciate you guys.
It was a great episode.
Thank you for having us.
So peace.
That's it. Much love. Peace.